If I hold the elevator all the way up and I flip my switch, you can see I now have 3 positions of rate. This makes the airplane less touchy and sensitive. Hey, welcome back to Motion RC. Today we have another great quick tip for you on the 16IZ. We're going to show you how to set up triple rates for your ailerons and your elevator. It's a very simple feature on the radio that every modeler should be taking advantage of. So without further ado, let's get down on the table and start talking about this. All right, so we're going to set up our dual rates. First thing we need to do is plug our model in and remove the prop. We don't want this on while we're doing anything on the bench. So I have the prop off, but I do have the model turned on as we're going. So what we're going to do is start off by going to airplane. We're going to go to dual rate, and we need to assign our switches correctly. So I'm going to have 2 switches for the aileron. So aileron 1 is good. We're going to go to the second menu and do an aileron again. Then we're going to go down to this 4th and 3rd line, and we're going to switch both of these to elevator. All right, so now we're going to click on elevator, and we're going to switch this one to elevator also. So we have our 2 ailerons and our 2 elevators. Now we need to assign our switches. I like to put mine aileron here on SD and elevator here on SA. I do this on all my models so it's always in the same place. So our aileron, we need to switch to SD, which is SD, and we want to set our position. So we're going to go here, and I want it on, off, off. All right. That means in the middle position, it's going to now be on. And as you see, we flip through it, you can actually see it happening. So let's go back. And then we're going to turn our status to on. Excuse me. So when I'm in the middle position, that switch turns on now. Now we need to do the same thing for our second aileron. Let's put it in the down position. Let's go to, SD for our switch. SD, and we want to set our position to on at the bottom. So now we have off, off, and on all the way down. And we can test it now by seeing it on the screen. So in the bottom position we're on, middle position it switches to on, and at the top they're both off. Now we need to do the exact same thing on our elevator. So we want to turn both of these on, and we want to switch these to switch SA. SA. Set it to where it's our middle position on, then come back, and we want to do the same thing again, so SA, and this time we're going to set it to the bottom position on. So now we have off, off, on. When we go back, we can now test it again in our menu by seeing it, on, and then off. All the way up should be off, middle position on, bottom position on. Now we're ready to get into our AFR and actually start setting up our rates. Let's go back. We're back here on the main screen. We're going to go to AFR now. Now you can see we are in the AFR menu. So we're doing the elevator AFR. Right now all we have is full up and down rates. So now what we need to do is set up our actual rates. I like to do these as combined. So we're going to take right here where it says separ, which for separate, we're going to switch that to combo. We're going to go into the second position. We're going to do this for all 3 positions. Make them all combined. All right. 100% rate on my little guy here is way too much. So let's go on and click on one of these boxes. And let's take that down to about 80% for our elevator. And then let's go into our first cut. Let's swap that down to about, let's go 60. And then our bottom rate, we'll go down to like 45. All right, so now if I hold the elevator all the way up and I flip my switch, you can see I now have 3 positions of rate. This makes the airplane less touchy and sensitive. Now we also can add what's called exponential. Down here on this bottom part, if you click in that box, you always want to do negative on Futaba. It's positive on Spectrum if you're flying Spectrum. You can do these same setups on there also. But in Futaba, it's always a negative expo. So let's take and let's put like 20%. And what this does, if I actually just max it out, I can show it to you here. This softens the center of the stick. If you see our curve, the further out you get, the more sensitive it gets. So you have to move that a whole bunch. As you can see, let's look at the elevator here. As I move that stick, I have to move it a whole bunch before it actually starts going. And that makes it toward this center position of the stick is very, very light. Now, I wouldn't recommend 90%. I usually like about 20%. So let's go negative 20%. And we need to do this for all three of our positions. So let's go in. Oops, wrong way. See, positive's the wrong way. Always make sure it's negative. 20% and 20%. And now as I flip my switch, I will see it happening in real time. So 80%, 60%, 45%. Now we need to do our ailerons. So let's switch to screen 2. We're going to switch from elevator to aileron. We're going to go back to our position again. And now you can see we have no rates in this either. So let's go on and link all of them together. So we're going to click separate to combined. Let's go to our second position, combined. Third position, combined. Now we're ready to start putting our actual rates in. I like 100% throw on my ailerons always for my max position. I like lots of aileron. But let's go on and put a little bit of Expo in there to make it a little softer. Then let's go down to our second position. Well, let's put this at about 80% with 20% negative Expo. Now let's cut it one more time. Let's go down to 65%. And this is going to vary depending on your preference and feel for a model, but this is how you do it. So now as I swap between all three rates, you can see it holds all three of my rates in there now. And we can verify it by looking at the aileron, going full deflection, and flipping our switch. And you can see now we have 3 positions of rates. All right, so that's how you set up triple rates on the Futaba 16IZ. It's going to be the same way on most of their computerized transmitters from Futaba. Super easy to do. Like I said, always make sure you take that prop off whenever you're working on any of your models on the bench with them live like we are here, just in case you were to bump that throttle. We don't want you getting hurt. Well, if you're enjoying these helpful quick tips, please hit that like button. Make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. And like always, whether it's land, sea, or air, Motion RC has what you want. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.